Hello everyone, welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Monday, September 15, 2025, and I am Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Ward Ahmed, and we've got a packed show for you today. So first up, we're going to do a fact check. Now, Qatar did not threaten to cancel the Boeing deal over U.S.-Israel tensions. Secondly, Talabat reopens in Qatar after a one-week suspension, and Replit by Amjad Masad has raised $250 million. Their valuation has tripled to $3 billion. And finally, Dubai developer Binghatti prepares for a potential IPO amid the real estate boom.
And the Love in Dubai awards have finished finally. It was a long weekend. We were just discussing about that. If you want to know who won what, you can go to the Lovin website and find out who were the winners. There was a business visionary category. What's the name of the perfumer? Sorry.
The perfumer?
Who won the Business Visionary Award? Yusuf Bhai. Yusuf Bhai was the Business Visionary Award winner. He was supposed to be at the award ceremony, but I think something happened in the background. I think there was some accident or something. But again, he was the Business Visionary, and I was surprised actually.
Really?
Because,
I think his story is really inspiring, by the way.
That shows you, the main idea that I took from it was that the Indian community is so strong, they made him win. I think we got a lot of votes on other people, and there were very important big names in this. But he won out of
was
everyone.
it up against, I think, Mona Katan?
Yeah. He was up against big names.
there too?
He was
he won against the Dubai viral chocolate lady.
Yeah, but that's the idea. There's 9 other categories. The moment was for me when Glory Joseph won. I think that was the most emotional moment throughout our awards, where she is a noon rider, right? She's a noon rider. She came on the stage very energetic.
She's
did
such
her
a
dance.
sweet heart, by the way. I interviewed her, and such good energy, so humble, so warm. Like, what a character she is.
And on the stage, she herself said that maybe I'm just a delivery rider who's making content, but the love that people show to me, the attention now that people give to me because of the personality, she's very chirpy, she's very energetic. So yeah, kind of like a eye-tearing moment, but that was one of the things that happened. Again, go to the Love in Dubai website, go to Love in Dubai itself, and you can see all the winners.
They streamed it live.
Yeah, we streamed it live, so it's on YouTube as well, so you can see the whole ceremony. And let's come back to Smashi Business Show and talk about one of the weird things that are going on. Just to give you a little bit of context before we go into the story, everyone knows that Israel attacked Qatar in the past week, and they said they're targeting Hamas, but it's a sovereign land. You can't attack any country anywhere. But a viral claim circulating on X, Facebook, YouTube, all the social media channels has alleged that Qatar has threatened to suspend the $150 billion Boeing deal that it gave when, you all remember, Mr. Trump came to the Middle East, Saudi,
what a time
Qatar,
that was.
And that was one of the biggest deals which was signed in Qatar. UAE, Saudi had their own big deals. But apparently, Qatar has threatened, and they're saying if US continues to support Israel's strike on Doha, they could take away the deal back, and it will affect 250,000 jobs.
Now, the facts differ here. In May 2025, Qatar Airways and Boeing announced one of aviation's largest deals, covering up to 210 wide-body jets valued at around $96 billion, supporting nearly 400,000 U.S. jobs, according to Boeing. Now, social media reports inflated both the deal value and job figures.
And there is no evidence that Qatar linked its aircraft purchases to U.S. policy towards Israel. Neither Qatar Airways, all the parties that are involved, Qatar Airways, Qatar's government, nor Boeing has issued any statement suggesting a political ultimatum tied to the deal.
Leading international wires, including Reuters, AP, AFP, have reported on Qatar's aircraft orders and regional tensions, but have not carried claims of threats or cancellations. Now, the 250,000 jobs figure cited online is unsupported.
And the verdict is very simple. The claim is false. It conflates the real Qatar-Boeing deal with fabricated political threats and distorted job loss numbers, spreading misinformation on social media about a deal that remains active and commercially significant. That's the rule that everyone should, if you're listening, if you're watching, whatever you're doing, you should always follow. Whenever you see something, just go and fact check it. Now, before it was
Now more than ever.
yeah, and before I think it was difficult. You had to go Google and you had to read multiple links. Now you have ChatGPT, you have Grok, you have like multiple options to just go and ask them like, this is what I read on social media. Do you have any proof which you can come bring out? I remember the very first fact check we did on Smashi Business
Is
was
it for Pavel Durov?
yeah, when Pavel Durov was arrested in France. It happened late in the night when in the UAE, according to UAE time. We came in the morning and there was news that UAE signed a Rafale jets deal with France during Expo 2020. And apparently everyone was saying, oh, no, 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 UAE is now cancelling that order. And UAE, because he is a UAE citizen, he has the passport. So everyone was saying that, but then I remember I was here, Hind was here, and after that we realized that these stories are important. We as media have a responsibility to not just throw anything at people's faces. It's our job. If the people aren't doing it, we will do it for them. We have to fact check the facts.
But I think, Majid, like with this entire, story, besides like fact checking, just on the subject of Qatar, I think with the Qatari Emir and the royal family there, I think they're much more classier than to pull something like this. And I think we've seen a very interesting trend in the past where, especially with Anthropic, we've seen how very recently Anthropic, it's I can't believe I'm saying this, it's an AI startup. It's a startup, but it's valued at like what, $180 billion?
Yes.
That's just crazy. But basically, Qatar Investment Authority, which is valued at over $500 billion, took part in this round for Anthropic, where they raised, I believe, $13 billion. But the entire thing was interesting, beside the money, beside the fact that it's a startup and they're just getting crazy amount of capital. Before they received that money from QIA, the Anthropic CEO, basically through a leaked wire, a leaked memo through Wired, we saw how he had basically said that this logic of working with bad people and dictators is unfortunately... He called them dictators. It's not good logic to go by in business. So the fact that he had said that, that leaked memo had come out, and then right after that, they received the funding that they need. I think that Qatar, they're very diplomatic. They're very diplomatic, even in business. I think that they're really trying to get their hands in everything. And honestly, like, I so agree with it, because honestly, like, if it comes down to human terms, are you going to let one thing, one entity that's just really bad, really horrible, that really does destroy your mood, just kind of ruin things for you, ruin that kind of success that you have? And I think that's my point of view with this.
Yeah, the main thing is Qatar handled this as professionally, as diplomatically as possible. Other countries, we saw when Israel did this to Iran, and then US also fired missiles at Iran, and Iran retaliated with missiles on Qatar, on I think other one or two more Arab countries, because the US has air bases there. I don't know why they didn't direct it towards Israel. Actually, they did. They did fire. They started with Israel and then they came to Qatar for the US air bases. But again, you have to understand that if you want to play the long game, not even in politics, in business as well, you have to take the diplomatic approach. And Qatar is the best diplomatic state in the whole of Middle East. I'm sitting in UAE. I have neighbors, Saudi Arabia, but I still think Qatar's diplomacy beats everyone.
And
they should take credit for it.
And we saw how much of a great job they did with the World Cup. Like, I've still not forgotten about that. I'll never forget how there were so many claims coming out of, oh my God, like, how are we going to enjoy this? There's no alcohol. And it's like,
there's no party, basically.
Yeah, and everything ran so smoothly. And when the entire thing ended, you had Westerners saying, in fact, like, I really think this entire no alcohol rule contributed to our safety. So I think that they have a really good history in carrying out things and carrying them out smoothly. And it's interesting that right now it's also Talabat that is under heat right now in Qatar.
So Qatar is like the highlight of our today's stories.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Qatar's Ministry of Commerce and Industry has announced the reopening of Talabat services after essentially a 1-week suspension. So the closure followed multiple consumer complaints over misleading practices, including deceptive product information, unlawful charges, and failure to guarantee services. Now, the breaches violated Articles 7 and 11 of Qatar's Consumer Protection Law.
And the suspension was triggered by repeated complaints highlighting misleading product details, deceptive practices, and consumer dissatisfaction with service guarantees. A lot of technical terms, we'll explain that later. Talabat faced criticism for failing to meet required standards, prompting the ministry to intervene and halt operations until corrective measures were implemented.
Talabat has now paid financial penalties and pledged to prevent any reoccurrence of violations. Now, the company also established a dedicated consumer call center, thank God, to address complaints promptly and ensure compliance with Qatar's consumer protection regulations, strengthening trust and accountability in its services.
And the ministry confirmed that the 1-week closure period was adequate for implementing corrective actions. It noted that Talabat had successfully addressed all identified breaches, demonstrating compliance with Article 7 and 11 of the Consumer Protection Law, allowing the company to resume operations safely.
Now, consumers can now access Talabat services under strict adherence to regulations. The ministry emphasized continued monitoring and encouraged users to report any future issues. Talabat's reopening signals its commitment to transparency, fair practices, and enhanced consumer protection in Qatar's digital marketplace. Now, if some of you are asking yourself, why is it important that Qatar's Ministry of Commerce took action against them? It's so important because Talabat, as you all know, is owned by a very large conglomerate, Delivery Hero, which also owns InstaShop, Food Panda. So if you're holding Talabat accountable, you're holding Delivery Hero and all of its entities accountable. Like this is really coming under their umbrella, and they're becoming aware of it. And I think with this kind of stories, Majid, like I know some people might not find this important, like consumer protection, consumer law, but it's so important. Like Majid, last week I had such a scary experience with one of the delivery rider apps. I won't say the name of the app, but basically I was coming home when was this? Yes, I was coming home from the Love in Dubai Community Awards, and I think it was like 11, when I arrived in my community, it was like 11:36 p.m. at night, and when I came to leave the taxi, I had like paid and everything. The taxi did not want to let me leave. And I was on the phone, like I was really not paying attention. I thought it was a little joke, and he was like, "Oh, can you stay and help me fix my trunk?" What does that mean? What do you mean help? Why would I know how to even fix a trunk? Like, let's be for real right now. I was serious, and I was tired. And when you're sleepy and you don't take something seriously, you're like, no way is this real. Like, come on, like I'm in Dubai. You need to be quiet. So I put on a phone. I think I called one of my cousins, and I just put their voice there, and then he unlocked the car, and off I went. But it was so scary. It was so scary, and it's these kind of situations that prove to you if you contact that app, are they going to respond? So consumer protection when it comes to these apps, it's so important. Like if someone has an experience like that, you have to make the consumer happy in some way. And we've seen recently how with a lot of companies across the region, we've seen it with Bleban, that is Egypt-based. We've seen it with Lamborghini from Saudi Arabia. And we've also seen it with Shawarma. All these companies, if you are not protecting your consumers, if you are not abiding by the law and making sure that everything is in place, you're gonna fall. Like, I mean, what was that place called again? Shawarma. Nothing even happened with them, by the way. There was no food poisoning, nothing. They got boycotted. They got boycotted because they're not hiring that many allegedly Saudi nationals. And then you had Lamborghini, their food poisoning led to the death of a person.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're taking a look at this Talabat story, and you're thinking, this is not that deep. They got banned for a week. It's important that they get banned for a week, and I think it's a message. It's a shout to other people that you should be aware of this. Like, we're watching you, and I love that Qatar has that ministry in place. I think it's important.
And Hassan Al Abri is saying they own hunger station as well. So Deliveroo also owns that one in Saudi Arabia. I completely agree with your point. It's very clear that consumer, when they are using your product and a product which can help you, affect your health, especially
Yeah.
because it's food at the end of the day. And then there's services. What if you deliver something expired and you look at it and you're like, whoa, what happened here? Happens to me a lot
I found
sometimes.
an insect in my food last week. Like, I'm so offended at this point. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
go on.
but my idea is that sometimes when you ask these delivery services everywhere, UAE, Saudi, Qatar, all these, they're great at it, I think. But in the pursuit of speed, in the pursuit of being quicker than quick, every day, just moving from 15 minutes to 14 minutes to 12 minutes, they sometimes don't look at the products. Sometimes I get milk, and milk is like, it has expiry next day. It happens sometimes, and you order a 500 ml small bottle. If you order 1 liter, you can't drink all of that in one day. Sometimes that happens. I think these are the small things that they need to fix, and they will fix because they know. I'll tell you a very interesting example which I noticed after it happened to me. I ordered food from Noon. It was a while back, I think last year in November. Uh, I ordered food from Noon, and I accidentally put my home location, and I was in Business Bay at a friend's. So I ordered shawarma or something, and then I was waiting for it, and after like 2 minutes I realized, oh shit, I put it on the wrong location. And I opened the app, and there was no option to change the location. And I know in 2 minutes the order has been sent, and they must be preparing it. The rider hasn't gotten out.
Yeah.
He is not on the road. And I could see the rider at the place. I called the help service. They're like, yeah, we can't. It's impossible, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but what do I do? He's like, just tell someone to collect the order. I was like, no one is at home. I think Shahira and Nu, they were in, they were in Saudi, I remember. So that was like the first or second day when I was at my friend's place. And this happened, and I was like, there's no one to collect it. And they're like, yeah, we can't do anything. And then now, when you go and you use the same service, I'll name it, they did good actually, Noon. Now you have option of changing the space, but you get the first 5 minutes. Within the first 5 minutes of ordering, you can change the location, and they give you a very big option right in front of your face that just check by mistake.
You can
if
even
you
cancel the order and get
Yeah.
like an immediate refund.
So all these things, they are improving. But the good thing is they're doing this because of the pressure that has been put on them by the ministries, by the rules, by the laws of the country. And you should give credit to them as well. You can't just credit the apps. If it was up to them, they won't even deliver your order and take the money and run away. But again, whichever environment they work in, how strict is the rule of law? That is the question. And in Qatar, we've seen Talabat, actually, if you deep it, as you say, if you deep it, actually the consumers would have been affected for 1 week. The avid Talabat users, they'll be like, what?
They probably
What
hold
happened?
most of the market
Right?
share there too.
But Qatar was like, no, it's fine. You can wait 1 week, or you can switch to another service. But they have to bear the brunt. They have to bear the losses. Just imagine how many customers they would have lost that day when they got suspended. A lot of them would have moved
That
to the
is so
competitors.
true.
And the
It
competitors are not stupid. They are very smart. They would have offered them so many discounts and so many welcome services that they will stick with them now. So, yeah, follow the rules. Otherwise, this region, it's very good that they have strict rules about everything.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And right now, there is this Palestinian man that's just completely breaking the AI rules and changing everything. Jordanian American entrepreneur, Palestinian too, Amjad Massad's Replit has raised $250 million in a Prism Capital-led funding round, tripling its valuation to $3 billion. Now, investors included A16Z, Amex Ventures, Co2, Y Combinator, by Paul Graham, which is lovely to see, and Google's AI Futures Fund, reflecting strong confidence in the platform's rapid growth and AI capabilities. And just to give you guys a little bit more context, Replit, it quite literally helps you make whatever kind of app that you want to make. Like it's so crazy. It's really cool.
And Replit has grown annualized revenue from $2.8 million to $150 million in under a year. So imagine by 2023, they were just making $2.8 million. 2024, they're making $150 million. Shows you how important it is and how people are using it. The company also recently launched Agent 3, its third version of its AI agent, its most autonomous AI agent yet, capable of texting, testing, fixing, and building custom workflows across software development and beyond, marking a step towards fully agentic AI collaboration.
So the platform's growth highlights a shift in software creation, moving from coding assistants to autonomous collaborators. Now, Replit enables individuals and enterprises to build custom applications with minimal technical knowledge, positioning itself as a key player in the emerging agentic AI economy.
Major companies such as Zillow, Duolingo, and Coinbase are already using Replit. That's what Amjad Masad told in the video that he put on his LinkedIn. It was very nice to see all the startup news that we do. They always have a graphic, and there's like, oh, this. With Amjad Masad, he actually sat down and explained the whole thing in like 1 minute 23 seconds. So it was nice to see something new. He also this demonstrates that so many people are using it, and it's a growing enterprise. It has a growing enterprise adoption. The platform's AI capability, which I have used, and I'll tell you how good they are, allow users to accelerate development processes, reduce technical barriers, and create complex workflows efficiently, enhancing productivity and innovation across industries.
With new funding, Replit plans to expand globally, scale operations, and broaden offerings via Google Cloud Marketplace. Now, by leveraging AI models like Google's Gemini, the company aims to democratize software development, enabling millions to turn their ideas into functional applications with just a few clicks. Now, I think for me, it's so interesting how he mentioned that they Duolingo basically uses Replit, because I remember in the middle of this year, Duolingo itself, did they not come under fire for basically declaring themselves as an AI first company?
Yeah, they fired a lot of people.
Yeah, it was an entire. I remember it was like an entire scandal, because they came out, they were like, we're an AI first company, but then later, after they saw how under fire they came, the fire they came under, sorry guys, it's a Monday morning today, what essentially happened is they then came and said, no, AI is here to accelerate the human jobs that already exist. But I think with Amjad's product, it's just honestly, like it's really cool. And I think for me, it excites me so much because he's come so far. And it's crazy how it took Bloomberg so long to catch up with that.
Yeah.
He's come so far. He's been building this for a while. He's been showing up. He's been showing face. And he's been at all of these events. And it took Bloomberg this long for them to write about him. No, seriously, I'm completely shocked, because his product, it's revolutionary. It actually targets something specific. You're not just investing in AI. Like, you have a product there, a consumer product.
I remember when I was first introduced to him by Rich, actually. He follows all these crazy people and crazy geniuses, basically. I remember the very first thing that he came and he told me, like, oh, this is this guy. And he came to Web Summit 2023. So last year, I went. We were there. We were media partners. So last year we also covered him. But in 2023, this is the introduction that Rich gave me. I remember it correctly, that he came on the stage and there was like people coming on the stage talking about, oh, Qatar this, oh, Web Summit this, that. This guy randomly was called on the stage in a keynote or something, and he talks about the most craziest things that AI can do, and he completely changed the mood of the whole place. So that was the first introduction. I was like, okay. And then I think he sat with Tucker Carlson, and he sent me a YouTube video and he's like, oh, listen to this, it's interesting. And that 1 hour of podcast, I went crazy after this guy, because the ideas that he shared, the inside knowledge of being in Silicon Valley and knowing about so many things. He one story that I will never forget from that podcast he told was, there is a whole cult in America right now which is preparing for the AI doom. So there is a whole bunch of people, he says, who have already prepared for the robots to take over, and they've prepared themselves with all the equipment and tools and anything that they can. So there's people in America right now ready to face the AI doom, AI end of the world. So you go through that 1 hour of podcast and you're like,
Matt, can you further elaborate on this?
It's like basically 2023 ChatGPT came in November. Everyone went crazy.
But
like,
what doom? What doom?
Like, what if AI takes over the whole world? who would defend humanity? And he's like, these guys are like
Is this like a
preparing
part
for
of
it.
Scientology or something?
Not part of
What am I
Scientology.
missing?
We have a lot of cults. A lot of series. Like I remember Vampire Diaries in my days was
You
very
watched
big.
it? It was
I
so
didn't
good.
actually. I didn't, but I know it was crazy good, and it was crazy big in my generation. Then came Game of Thrones and Suits and all these. Everyone has a very avid follower where they meet yearly at one place and they carry out the characters, Comic Con kind of stuff. But when he talked about this, in my brain, what I was picturing was people sitting with guns and people sitting with computers and laptops and like geniuses who were trying to like kill the mother AI. Have you seen Matrix?
Oh my
That is
God.
what ran through my
Now,
mind.
you know what you're telling me? Like,
But
I just
he
feel
said
so
it.
uncanny right now. This is dystopian.
Yeah, and imagine this is a guy who sits in Silicon Valley, who sits with the best people in Silicon Valley, who everyone knows in Silicon Valley, has built a platform for people to make software. The word democratize, he uses it so much throughout whenever he talks about it, because he doesn't want software developing big companies to own everything. You can create a calendar app for yourself. I tried building on Replit. I tried building one or two things. Never really worked because I have zero knowledge of coding. But whatever it gave me was workable. But I wanted to develop something very like deep and extensive. For Replit to make a simplest application, if you have an idea like, oh, every day I wake up, my alarm rings, but as soon as my alarm rings, I need a to-do list which is already ready for me. So you can make that simple thing. You can add that one feature, add a custom alarm clock to yourself, and you wake up and you get a to-do list. So basic stuff, it's the greatest thing right now. There's another one, Lovable, which is $1 billion. It's I think
We
it's
talked
from,
about it before.
yeah, it's a Norwegian or Swiss brand, but that's also good. So whatever he has built is great. The person he is, the most well-read person I've listened to in my like past years, he is, and also the ideas that he wants to
He's
promote.
such a hidden gem. He
That's
truly
the
is.
idea.
He's such a hidden gem because
Yeah.
when you take a look at his personality and the way that he's
You
leading
don't
all
have a
of
lot
this.
of pictures of him online also.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Try to find
guys,
him, you
like,
can't.
we struggle because we design things. So
Yeah.
I think you'd understand our feeling here. But
Yeah.
I just think with him, he's such a hidden gem. And I think that he's finally receiving his flowers right
Yeah.
now, the attention that he really does deserve. Because what? And imagine, like, this company was not founded long ago.
Yeah.
For them to reach $3 billion valuation,
Yeah.
and I think for me, what touches my heart the most is that you keep mentioning Silicon Valley. This is a Palestinian man
Yeah.
in Silicon Valley.
Oh, that Tugger, sorry, you said Palestinian. Another thing he said very clearly in that, and I
Yeah.
remember we took that cut when we did the first story on him, the first story I remember when I joined. He said that a lot of Palestinians in Silicon Valley actually don't tell their nationality. They want to hide it because there is some, I don't know,
That would be
let's
a really
call
good
it
post.
racism.
Let's find it.
No, we've done it. I added that clip into that story. So I remember that very clearly. He said a lot, and actually the lead angle on the story was a lot of people in Silicon Valley who come from Palestine and then had Egyptian, Jordanian, or any other passport later, obviously. These guys hide it. And why do they hide it? Because Silicon Valley has a racist tendency towards these people. So just imagine the depth of work this guy is doing and how he is representing the people who are actually thrown back just because on the basis of their passport. You remember the Baraka guy?
Yeah, I
We
do.
tried to find our best. We used every chatbot, we used every Google term we can use to find his nationality.
Firas
The only
Jalbout.
thing, yeah, the only thing that was relevant and like on your face was a Forbes article where it said Canadian. And we stated Canadian, and I remember Rich sent him the article and about how they have incorporated AI into their Baraka platform. It's a trading platform. And he replied to Rich like, I would have loved if they would have called me Palestinian. I'm like, we tried our best. We tried our best to find it, but we couldn't find it. Because your passport...
You guys have to make it easier.
Yeah, your
Put it in your
passport
Instagram
determines your
profile or
nationality,
something.
right? And it shouldn't be. You should be able to tell your story that I come from
But I
come
can't
from
blame
Pakistan,
them.
you come from
I
Sudan.
can't blame them, to be honest with you, Majid. Like, can you? In
No
the
one
end of
can
the day,
actually.
I think that it's such a sensitive subject. You
Yeah.
want to make things easier for self. Like even me, Wert, as a Sudanese person, I think that
Yeah.
in certain scenarios, is that really the most appropriate thing to shout right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I go to the airport, they ask me where are you from, and I say I'm from Dubai, and I show my
Imagine,
Emirates
you're
sign.
so funny.
But my passport says Pakistan, so
You're
they know.
manifesting it. You're
Yeah, but,
manifesting it. I
yeah,
respect it.
What can you do?
But for our final topic of the day, and this one's really big, the Dubai-based developer Binghatti Holding that has been making so many headlines recently has begun preparations for a potential initial public offering, aiming to capitalize on the Emirates' multi-year real estate boom. Now, the company is reportedly seeking banks to advise on a UAE listing, according to Bloomberg.
And Binghatti declined to comment on the market speculation. That is what they said to Bloomberg. We have also contacted them. We'll soon get a statement from them. And then we'll run our story as well. But the developer is behind ambitious projects, including what is planned to be one of the world's tallest residential towers and a Mercedes-branded tower, signaling its strategy to attract premium buyers and investors amid a thriving property market.
Last month, Binghatti issued a $500 million sukuk. The company's net profit for the first half of 2025 reached 1.82 billion dirhams, so that is around $500 million, up 172% compared to the same period last year, reflecting strong sales in a buoyant Dubai real estate sector despite global uncertainties.
The potential IPO comes as Dubai's property market continues its upward trajectory. Sales volume and prices have rallied in the second quarter of 2025, fueled by investor confidence, high-end residential demand, and the city's status as a regional investment hub, despite geopolitical tensions and tariff-related market concerns.
Now, Benghatti's IPO plans, combined with its record profits and high-profile projects, suggest the developer is positioning itself to leverage market momentum. Now, a successful public offering could provide capital for expansion while reinforcing Dubai's reputation as a global real estate and investment destination. I think with Binghatti this summer, like, man, they started sprinting. And I don't think they've stopped running until now. Like the kind of elaborate events that they're doing are just so they're so big. Like they launched. I remember that they launched this new Dubai Tower, but they did the event in Egypt.
Yeah.
And at first, by the way, like when I'd seen the story, Majid, in my head I immediately thought Binghatti has expanded to Egypt. But that was not the case. They had done the event in Egypt just very recently. We saw how they revealed another tower. I think it's called Binghatti Skyblade, and the event was in Istanbul in Turkey. So and Majid, you know what? Honestly, that is such a smart strategy. All of these big openings, these big property shows. I've been to some of them. They're so luxurious. You know what they make you think? Me as a buyer, when I say, I don't know, I buy an apartment from Jacob & Co., his tower, you'd think that it's done, right? You'd think that this apartment it's built. But then I remember, where was I? I think I was in Business Bay, but I saw one of the Binghatti buildings that they've been selling for so long, that they sold to Neymar, this other singer, and I saw the building. Imagine. It's not done.
Yeah,
it's like
my office was right next to it. They were digging the ground when I saw it.
Dude, I was so shocked. I looked at it and I was like, "Wait, this is Jacob & Co." I was like, "Okay." Like they're halfway through the construction, and I looked at it and I'm like, "Oh my days! Like, why did I think these buildings were done?" Like, I truly subconsciously in my head, I was thinking these buildings are done. And why? It's because of their grand reveals that they don't stop doing. Like, as a buyer, they make you feel so special. And I think that everyone should replicate what Binghatti is doing. I think that he's taking such a different approach. I don't think I've seen Ammar do this. I really don't think I have.
I think it's...
or even the Sejwanis.
It's two things. The Mac, the events are luxurious for everyone, to be honest, what I've realized. But the feeling that Binghatti gives you, the luxury luxury feeling. It's unmatched, to be honest. And they claim to be a luxury kind of a developer who don't develop anything which is not luxurious. Even if they develop like a normal residential tower, which is in
But that was not
Silicon
always
Oasis.
how they were they?
Yeah.
Remember the
They will
orange
give you
buildings?
the packaging that you'll be like, oh my God, I have bought a house in the best place possible in the world. And that's a feeling. To be honest, buying a house is a feeling. I remember one of the guests that came on
Buying
our show.
a house is a feeling.
Yeah,
So true.
one of the guests said it that it's not if you're buying it to live. If you're buying it as an investment, it's an investment. You have zero emotions attached. You only look at the ROI. But if you're buying your first house as a house to live in, it's a feeling that you get that, oh my God, finally I own a house and I can decorate it and I can do whatever I want with it because it's my house and you feel that ownership. So they give you that. That's I think the packaging, the marketing, the PR, that is all great. The idea of this, the IPO, I think they've been raising a lot of money. The $500 million Sukuk thing, basically all real estate companies in Dubai, I think one of them in Abu Dhabi also, they have Sukuk. Sukuk is a bond. You just buy a bond for 5 years, and after the 5 years, you'll get a percentage return on it. So if, for example, you buy one bond of 100,000 dirhams or dollars, whatever you prefer, after like 5 years, you'll get a 7, 8, 10% return on it. So Sukuks are Islamic bonds. They have to be backed by a physical structure. Binghatti, developer, real estate, has buildings, so they are backed by a physical structure. Usually in normal bond market, where you buy a bond, they're not backed by any physical assets. So Islamic sukuks are an Islamic bond, just to give you an idea. We've talked about Islamic sukuks a lot on the show, by the way. But the idea is that they raised $500 million. That $500 million will go into more buildings, more projects. Recently, he was on Bloomberg when they raised the $500 million. So we shared the clip. The whole clip was very interesting. I just shared the part where he was defending the Dubai real estate, whereas the Fitch report came out, Moody's report came out that there is going to be some stagnation or slowness in the market, and the people are coming here expecting I'll invest $1 million or 1 million dirhams and I'll get a 7, 8, 10% return after a year. I'll start getting that kind of a return. But a lot of these rating companies, they're saying that no, now it may go down to 4 or 5% because there is oversupply. There's too many houses. So no one will get that much return. But he defended it so nicely. That was not the point. The point was, before that, the whole clip of his interview, he talked about the Egyptians. He said the Egyptian people actually are the second largest property buyers in UAE last year. 2024, the second largest spending was done by Egyptians. So now you connect the dots.
So these
and
brand reveals.
He went to Egypt to do an event about his project in Dubai. And now he goes to Turkey, Istanbul, because Turkey now is also investing here.
I think they had a $500 million sukuk
So the
there
idea
too.
is very good. He's so stats backed that he knows that my buyer is in this place. I will go to this place, do the event there. Why would I do an event in Dubai when I already have a very good market?
Oh,
where
he
people
does
are
it
already...
here too, Majid. He
No,
does
he does.
At the same time,
Yeah.
there's so many of them.
Yeah, but the idea is he goes to their market, shows them the project because he knows from numbers which are relevant that these people are buying it. So why not go to their country and show them, this is what we're building in Dubai. We're coming to you, to your country to do the event.
Binghatti
Buy
World
it.
Tour. That's literally what it is.
They whatever they're doing in marketing and PR, it's actually one of the newest, greatest stories that you'll see.
Indeed it
So,
is.
yeah.
And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, Smashi Business Production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our 2.3 million monthly listeners. It went down a little, it went down to 2.1, but I'm sure that now since we're back and the events are coming and everything is coming, you guys will help us move back. And now the target is from 2.5 or 2.3 to 3 million. So you guys help us, and any one of you who does that, you make this possible. If you're one of them, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow on Tuesday and on the Smashi Business Show. Have a great day.